Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good afternoon and welcome to Fade to Black Cinema. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and I'm here with my co-host Alicia.
Hello.
And today we wanted to do our review after seeing It Chapter 2. So as you knew, we did see 1. And then we went back and saw the original version on TV and kind of compared the two during our last podcast. And we was looking forward to this one. Why? Because now they are grown-ups. And what we wanted to see was how they matched the characters and how they went going forward. So here's the synopsis. 27 years after their first encounter with the terrifying Pennywise, the loser clubs have grown up and moved away until a devastating phone call brings them back. So, once again, like I said, I was looking forward to it because I enjoyed the first one. It had scary portions and it made you remember the other movie. And I just thought it was very, very interesting and not at the gross point of view. You know what I mean?
Yep.
From the first one. So coming into the second one, the good thing is I was open-minded. How were you prior to this coming out, though, man?
We saw the series.
We didn't see the second part, though.
We only see the first part, but since we saw the first part and then watching the second part and then watching the TV series compared to the first series, it's just that it was a whole different, when was that done? It was 1980, I think it was 1980 or 1990?
For which one? It was
the first
TV series?
Yeah, the TV series.
1990.
Yeah. So the way they did it is different, of course, which I like it how it's done now.
Yeah.
I really did like it because you can relate to it. And it was like the maturity was different. Because if I remember, I'm trying to remember the series where they did the whole thing and how the adults were kind of like,
Yeah, they wasn't so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had Richard Thomas, Tim Reed was on that, Harry Anderson, and a couple of unknowns. John Ritter was on there, Tim Curry, he played Pennywise, and a couple of, like, a lot of unknown type people on there, but that was fine. I mean, but with this one, it came to the point of some serious stars on there.
Right.
So you was getting a better quality of acting.
Yes.
But the person who did the first wrote and directed the second one was the first one who did the first. So he just did a continuation. So the good thing was you saw the relationship between the two movies. So it transitioned really, really well.
It did. It really did. The first one was the first part 1 was going to be better than part 2.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
But still, I can say that I would watch it again. So Michael knows I can't stand scary movies. I despise scary movies. But if the movie it's more so with the way things are going on now that relates, I would watch it again. I would watch it. Right. It was one of those things that you definitely, even though my eyes were closed in some of the parts, I would watch it again. Right. I wouldn't have a problem watching the first movie and then watching the second movie as it transitioned together. You know what I'm saying? So you could see it. But the adult characters were amazing. And I like how they related to the first movie into the second movie when they were younger, what their fears were, and where they thought they killed him and they didn't, because it was much deeper than that.
Right.
And so it was. I mean, it was really good. I just like how the adults were, in part 2, and it was the one of the characters I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, but had to die.
Well, somebody had to die. Put it that way.
Yeah, but I didn't want him to die. Of all characters, that was the one I wasn't expecting to die.
Right.
But I love how you see the difference from them young and they're older and their success. You know what I'm saying? That to me was really, really, really good in the It Too.
Yeah, and the the acting, like I was saying earlier, was really, really good, and the way they, as a group, was together was really good too. So they were friends before. They went away because of the fear and everything that went on in their life, and then they turned back and came back together, and it worked like really, really well. The heavy characters, Jessica Chastain, and James McAvoy, Bill Hader, and then you had some other supportive guys that was in there as well. But the other guys were really pretty, they did well. They did well
yes.
as supporting characters. My best character on there was Bill Hader. He played a really emotional person, but he was funny as hell because he left and became a comedian.
Yeah.
And so his humor and everything throughout the movie was appropriate. They wasn't just making jokes just to make jokes. He was making jokes because he was a comedian.
Right.
So it wasn't like, oh, they putting in the jokes just for quick laughter. No, this guy was a comedian, so he's naturally that way. And it worked really well. And the relationship between all of them also was really, really good too. But to the movie, it came back because it was now we find out it was from outer space. You know what I mean?
Right.
That it came back, and I thought it was going to be a supernatural. So I don't remember the series to say that in the end was it something from space, or did they change that, or what? But the black guy, he that was fucked up too, because he lied to them and said. So when they came together, he said he knows how to kill him, but he really didn't know.
He really didn't know
how to kill him. So but he drawed him along because in some way they had to be together to kill Pennywise again. So they had some really crazy scenes of Pennywise, and like. I remember when Jessica Chastain went back to the old house she went to.
Yeah.
And the old lady was there.
Yeah.
And it was, whoa, it was just some really, really shocking, not gross and not, I don't want to say scary because it depends on how you look at it. But it was really, really good. So all the special effects on here didn't look cheesy. Let me put it that way. No, they didn't.
They really, it in some parts it was a little slow. Not enough for you to get like but it kind of explained itself, what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was really good. Like we said, the characters, they played themselves so well in it, tracking this stuff down. They had to bring together their chemistry together.
Yep.
They being that they were older and went their separate ways, how they came back together and did what they had to do. It was really, it was good because you kind of see like, as you mature and get older, you go your separate ways. They had a common cause.
Yeah.
And they came back together and they stayed friends after that.
Yeah. And it showed why they were together. And then it went back to when they were children and the fun that they had. And it showed the difference what you can be together as friends for a either common cause, common enemy, or whatever. But it was really good. It was a really good and well worth seeing because I enjoyed the first one. Look forward to this one. And this one was not disappointing. It wasn't a lot on here that I can say was bad. It wasn't the greatest, but it was a very good movie.
Yes,
and it's a recommended movie, and I had it at an even 8.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually was gonna give it a 7.
No, it's not bad. Mm-hmm. The average, the Metascore or whatever, was a 7 anyway.
Okay.
I liked it because there wasn't a lot of decent horror movies because we saw a couple that was interesting. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were interesting, but wasn't great.
Like like I said, there was some that has to make sense. Not no stupid scary movies.
Yeah, I'm just cutting people's heads off, and I'm a serial killer or whatever like that.
Like Us and Get Out were two movies that had some form of meaning at the end.
Or Hereditary, which was just so strange. but you never knew what was going on in it until the end. And even that blew you away. So that was like an amazing horror movie as well. So, but you know, things like that was like pretty good. So this as a remake, they did well as the remake. So as it comes to remakes, this was better than the first. So some people say you shouldn't remake a classic and blah, blah, blah. When they did the remake of Christine and the remake of Carrie, those were terrible because you know so much from the first one. And went from there. Right. But anyway, other than that, you got anything else there, Beb?
No, darling.
So, Fade to Black Cinema every Wednesday. Wednesdays, we have our TV series and movies and different other things. And we give our reviews on that. But follow us on bougieblackbrother.com or all podcast downloads. We're on all of them as Fade to Black Cinema. And if you want to see or hear our old ones, it's under Urban, what's that? I forgot it. Urban Lifestyle Cafe. That's the old one. But we have a lot of old shows and things that was on there. But anyway, we thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time on Fade to Black Cinema. Later. Bye.